Very warm welcome to the Values Workshop podcast. I am very glad to have a very unusual guest uh, from Netherlands who's been very kind with his time and attention, specifically in the last 1 hour, I think, where there has been a lot of things that have been going wrong time-wise and technology-wise. And I'm so glad that this is a good test of patience. So welcome, Mr. Herman Schreuder, to the show. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Without much ado, there is an incident that happened today, and I want to speak about it, which will lead me to the question. So I am trying to learn swimming, and today, for the first time, my teacher asked me to go to the deep end of the pool and jump in without a float. And I jumped in, and because I knew that I was going to panic, this was the first time without a float, and I just was equanimous and just calmed down and took some time to react. And he was not very happy about it. He says, "You are supposed to immediately start moving your hands and legs. You can't be calm and quiet inside the pool." So I thought it was a very amusing uh, twist. In the real world, where I move outside, being calm and quiet is nice. Here, I needed to act immediately, but I did not. And later, the panic did hit me a few seconds later. So I want you to let me know what is your response to something like this.
The first thing coming to my mind is that you um, started to be in the moment completely, and by doing so, you forgot literally to move and to breathe. And it took you a few seconds before your life instincts took over. And then you responded. But at first, I think you were completely in the present, in the here and now, and you experienced some kind of internal rest. But that couldn't last because you had to move, you had to do something, and then your primary instinct took over, and then you started to move.
Yeah. So in situations which generally create panic, how does a meditator manage to look at things from a calmer point of view? What is it that is the secret?
When I look back on my personal journey, then what we just reviewed is very essential. When your life is in danger, then in most any case, your primary instincts will take over. But panic is something different than fear. Panic is for me, panic is an ultimate form of fear because you can't control the situation anymore. When you have deep experience with meditation, you can prevent, in many cases, you can prevent to become of experience fear. And even in many cases, you don't have to experience panic. Meditation will help you a lot. But in some situations, it is very difficult. But I know people who are capable of, even in those situations, will stay calm and composed.
Okay. In a world which is so moved by ambition and achievement and getting everything, we are finding chaos on individual levels, on social levels, on levels of countries and world governments, and big countries are fighting uh, amongst themselves. How do you uh, slow down?
The main issue in those cases is concentration. Concentration for me is um, the sole entity which gives you the possibility to be in the present with a completely calm mind. And if you, I practiced my whole life doing concentration meditation on the qualities of the Buddha. And slowly but surely, I managed um, to be in a kind of state where my mind becomes silent. And then many issues you mentioned, um, at that moment, they fade away. They don't uh, attack you anymore like without uh, this concentration. So um, concentration gives you the ability to slow down and not to identify yourself with certain situations. And also, secondly, a big rule for me is when you are not capable of influencing the situations, like big countries fighting with each other, then it isn't useful to let your mind identify with those situations because you can't, as an individual, you can't change it.
So would you say that we are completely helpless there, or is there something that can be done irrespective of not actively engaging with those news?
Yes, what you can do is try to give metta.
Okay.
So um, when you have concentration and you start to give metta, then this metta will be very powerful and you can send it towards situations and towards people in trying to help, maybe a little, but trying to help.
Um, Very often, I find a lot of friends who are not into the meditation space, and when they are discussing things, they find that one is not aggressive enough to win over the situation. Uh, what would you respond to something like that?
In my practice, I always try to combine meditation and trying to live your life according to the precepts. And the precepts from a Buddhistic perspective means that you look at the way you behave, the way you speak, the way you treat other people, trying not to kill living beings, etc. And the combination of meditation and trying to live according to the precepts is a very powerful combination. People who are not able to meditate, they can, however, they can, if they really want to, they can follow the precepts and maybe later in their lives, they can also adopt meditation and try to combine those two.
Okay. So my question is a little more pointed. So suppose there is a business pitch,
A what?
a business pitch. So we are pitching for some business which is a big business, and we are supposed to show aggression and ambition and uh, a lot of strength in terms of wanting it, irrespective of uh, the other parties who are also pitching for the same business being equally strong. So during situations like that, uh, how would how would this kind of attitude help?
You mean two businesses competing with each other?
So if there are two businesses, one is mine, and I also need to be show some aggression to get that business.
Hmm.
So people say that calmness and coolness may be perceived as a weakness. How would you uh, answer that?
Hmm. I understand. I think calmness and friendliness is never a weakness. If you have a business, then you have also the responsibility for the people working in the business. But that doesn't automatically mean that you have to be violent in your speech. You can be clear. You can address certain aspects of your business and try to pursue it. But that doesn't mean that you have to raise your voice unnecessarily. So continuing being friendly, also in the case of businesses, is absolutely possible. Only very few people are capable of doing this.
Could you tell me a little bit about your initial experiences with meditation? How did
Mm.
you get on this path?
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a very good question. I started my journey, my meditation journey, more than 40 years ago. And I met a meditation teacher who came originally from Burma, and he teaches a very specific meditation, and the meditation is called Buddha. And Buddha is a reference to the qualities of the Buddha. It also uses a mala, and you make sound. Dus it's like singing Buddha, and you listen to the sound. Because the qualities of the Buddha are very refined, your mind will be uplifted slowly but surely. It is very difficult, more difficult, to develop concentration on the qualities of the Buddha than, for example, looking at a candle. And the reason for it is very simple. The qualities of the Buddha are not, it is not one quality, there are 9 qualities of the Buddha. So, without you as a person knowing that this will happen, your mind is going from one quality to another. And because there are many qualities, and because the qualities are very refined, it is very difficult to get concentration on the qualities of the Buddha. But if you succeed in getting there, the fruits are likewise. So, and that's another issue which is very unknown. Many uh, meditation practitioners think that if you have concentration, then you have to switch to another form, like vipassana. But with this meditation, that is not necessary. So you just continue, listen to Buddha, and at a certain point, your mind is that much open that the things connected to vipassana automatically come to you. So you just can continue using the Buddha meditation to get insights. And that is um, I think that is something which is little known about. But it is true because I experienced it myself. I just came back from a 6-week retreat in the monastery where my teacher lives. And for me, it was also very strange to experience this, but it is true. With this meditation, you just can continue listening to Buddha, and at a certain point, your mind opens in a way that you can see things how they really are. And that is what the Buddha also told many times. When your mind is concentrated, you start to see things as they really are. And I can state from my own experience now that this is very, very true. So every year, when possible, I went to the monastery, most of the times 4 weeks, and last time for 6 weeks every year. And I did this for more than 40 years now. 25 years ago, my teacher, he asked me if I was willing and prepared to teach this Buddha meditation to other people. And 25 years ago, I accepted, and from that moment, I teach other people this meditation as well. And I also give now retreats in Holland to help other people to reach the concentration needed to get insights.
What started your journey? Why were you taking this path, considering that in your country probably Buddhism wasn't a big thing when you started, uh, or was it?
40 years ago, very, very few people were meditating. Very, very few. And I had an internal urge to, I couldn't accept the fact that the way things were, the way society worked, that could be all. So I started to search first in my country. I couldn't find anything remotely in the direction I wanted. So I went to Burma and Thailand, and then I found uh, my teacher, and he told me, that's the sentence I always remember. He said, Herman, if your mind is concentrated, then life is easy. And if your mind is not concentrated, life will be difficult. And that is very true. So I am very glad where I am standing now, that I started my journey 40 years ago, and I am very grateful to my teacher that he taught me everything he did teach me.
Uh, One question that I want to ask you is: dukkha necessary to meditate?
Hmm?
Is sorrow a compulsion for anybody who wants to meditate?
Is sorrow a problem, you mean?
No, is sorrow compulsory? If I don't have sorrow, can I meditate? And why would I?
Oh, I understand. There are 7 hindrances. If you try to concentrate on Buddha or any objects for that matter, there's a unwholesome part in your mind, and there's a wholesome part in your mind. The unwholesome part in your mind, there are 7 hindrances. These are anger, desire, sloth, torpor, doubts, worry, and restlessness. And sorrow is a little in the neighborhoods of restlessness and worry. These are hindrances. When you start meditating on Buddha, these hindrances will be addressed by the meditation system. So it is not true that you as a person reaches concentration. What really happens is that the meditation system is addressing the hindrances, and when these hindrances have been weakened enough, concentration will surface automatically, because that's the real state of being of your mind. And the reason why we don't know this is because we have never been taught what concentration is really like and how to get there. We didn't receive any teaching. At home, no. At school, no. University, no. You have to find out yourself. That's the reason sorrow or restlessness or worry, it's part of your unwholesome side of your mind and can be addressed by the meditation.
When you first learned meditation and you came back to your country, how was the reaction of people close to you? Did they think you had lost it?
um, let us say that in the beginning, 40 years ago, I developed a sharp eye for those people who were capable of receiving a kind of uh, reflection on what I did, and those people who were not open enough to listen. So in the years after, now I can see within 2 seconds, I can see this man or this woman is capable of understanding what what I am about to say, and this person doesn't understand. That's a kind of insight you get when your mind is clear, when your mind is quiet. Then you start to see these things.
Okay. Do you feel any kind of antagonism towards people who are not receptive to this kind of thought?
No, not at all, because samsara is very patient. So everybody has to decide for themselves. And I am here if anyone makes contact with me and asks me for help, I will gladly give it. But if someone doesn't want to hear it, it's no problem for me.
Uh, who are the people in your family? Are they also meditators?
Yes.
What is the reaction to your practice of so many years? Can you tell us a little bit about your friends and your family, immediate ones?
Yes, that's a good question. Actually, my wife, we traveled together for the first time when we met our teacher. She was also there. And as a matter of fact, she did start more early with meditation than I. But when I met my teacher, I continued my meditation with more energy and more effort compared to her. But she has always continued also to meditate, but at a little slower pace, so to speak. And she supports me always. but she doesn't like it when I'm on a retreat. That's she doesn't like when I'm gone. That is true. I have two daughters, grown-up daughters, and they meditate as well. They're all doing the same meditation.
Okay. Uh, how do you manage the financial side of your life? Uh, are there any worries on that front? Because there is a certain sense of renunciation that comes along with this territory automatically.
Yeah.
How do you balance it out?
Yes, this is a good question. Um, I am now retired. I have been having a job all my life, and for a long time, I just received people in my spare time, and I did never have asked money for what I did. And the reason for this is very simple. Every time I told you, every time, every year, I go to the monastery, and my teacher, he gave me all his teachings always for free. Sometimes I helped uh, financially by giving a donation, but there's never been any questions about giving money. So I continued this tradition, and so from the time I start teaching, I never asked for money. People, if they want to, they can give a donation, but never ever have I asked people for money.
Uh, is there any change in you as a person from time to time? Because now that you've been doing the same kind of meditation for many years, as a person, what are the challenges that you've had, and any specific incidents that you want to share with us where you had tough times but you persisted with your practice?
Um, at a certain point, I was convinced that this meditation uh, was perfect. I believed in the system, but sometimes uh, at certain retreats, I get the feeling maybe I am not um, suited enough to reach the state of concentration my teacher wants me to go. And sometimes I can remember some retreats that were very difficult because um, it's sometimes when you have those feelings, then sometimes it's difficult to raise the energy needed to go on. So, um, but I did. I just I was so convinced that this meditation was genuinely beautiful and truly like um, truly in itself true and beautiful. And slowly but surely, I started to have the conviction that I too could enter those states that my teacher wanted me to go. And slowly but surely, I managed to get those, you can call them doubts in myself, to get them out. Doubt is also a hindrance. So slowly but surely, I could leave these thoughts of doubts, and at a certain point, it was completely gone.
Uh, what are your present challenges that you faced in your recent retreat? Uh, Whatever you can share, obviously,
Yes,
because
I
it's a very
understand.
private and personal thing. but something that you share.
Hmm. What I'm trying to accomplish now is I have a normal house where I live with my family, and when I organize a retreat, I hire a center in Holland, and then I give retreats. And when we come together, I hire a church, and then we sit together. All people who want to join the meditation, they can come in. What I'm trying to accomplish, maybe the next 4 or 5 years, is try to get a place of my own that people can come to whenever they like what you see in Asia and in your country, that there is a place where you can go if you feel like it. That would be my yeah, my biggest challenge for the coming years.
Uh, what are you trying to accomplish with the website buddho.org? Can you tell us a little more about it?
What do I want to accomplish with what?
Your website buddho.org. You have a website, right?
Yes.
So what is it that you are trying to accomplish with the?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. The website is our main point of contact. I teach people in Holland, but I teach people abroad as well. So the last few years, I have made contact with several thousand people, uh, every day a few, and I teach the Buddha meditation online. And every people come to me, everybody who's coming to me, I help for 6 weeks. I help such a person and try to have contacts on a regular basis, at least one time a week. And people write to me their experiences, and I will give them feedback. And then after 6 weeks, they can decide for themselves to go on or just do something else. But then they have a real experience what doing Buddha is like. So that's it takes me many hours a day to accomplish this.
Does online education in this system be a little bit of a hindrance compared to a physical retreat?
It is not the same as when you do a retreat or when you can speak to someone face to face. But I have many people adopting the Buddha meditation in the past few years, and they are very grateful and very happy that they have experienced what it's like to do the Buddha meditation. So it's quite possible to do this.
Okay. What do you think is the one important trait a person should have if they want to learn meditation?
Um, One thing for sure is intention. Is that you understand that the things within your mind are the most important things to develop. And then very important that you have stamina. Many people, the main problem for nearly all people I try to teach is that they are starting vigorously and they are very enthusiastic. And after 1 or 2 months, then things starts kicking in. And then for many people, it is very difficult to continue. And the reason is very simple because in our society, we want immediately results. And this meditation is not about 1 week or 1 month. This meditation is a mental journey. And you have to see that when you are on a certain path where you have trusts in the path, then you should be very, very, very happy that you have found a path which gives you, in ultimate sense, gives you the possibility to get insights into reality, as the Buddha always has pointed out. And that is a great blessing if you can find this. Intention and stamina. That is the most two important things. Understanding that the things within your mind are the most valuable things to develop.
And are there any strict no-nos for strict no for people who want to learn meditation? What is it that they should be aware of?
When people are on drugs, when people are on alcohol, that's a big no-no. And the reason is quite simple, because when people are addicted to drugs or alcohol, then their desire is very high. And desire and meditation, especially this meditation, do not go together. And for the rest, the same answer as before. If you really are interested, if you really want to try the meditation, no matter where you are, then you are most welcome. And it is not for everybody, because this meditation is also requires that you have a lot of energy, because this meditation is very tiring. So it's not like leaning back and say, "Oh, I'm feeling so well." No, this meditation is connected to the earth, and you have to work very, very hard.
Is it possible to be happy? Is it possible to be happy?
Yes, sure, sure. Yes, 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 yes. That's because if you get concentrated, then your mind will automatically be in the sector where the wholesome mental factors are, and then there is also happiness, but there's also calm, there's also trust, there's also compassion, there's also mudita, being glad for other people when something nice happens to him or her. All those beautiful mental factors will come surfacing when you reach concentration on the qualities of the Buddha automatically.
Okay, one last question. Of late, there is a lot of interest in Buddha and Buddha's teachings in many places around the world. Do you think it's a passing fancy, or there are enough number of people who are dedicating themselves to learning? Because you did mention it's a very tough journey.
I see an enormous decline also in Asia. Before, I thought when I went to Thailand that every monk in Thailand would meditate. That's not true.
Oh,
Very few people meditate. So I think that slowly but surely more people in Europe are meditating than the traditional countries in Asia. This decline is is growing.
Thank you for your time and your wonderful answers. It's very inspiring to understand each aspect as explained by you. And have a good journey. All the best with your center coming up. Uh, may all people benefit from this conversation that we've had.
Thank you very much, Render, and thank you very much for having me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Hey.